I'm going to get started with a few slides. I'm not going to bore everybody here with the slides. I'll try to make them, good slides. And then I'll just show some basics of LucidLink, and I'm going to turn it over to Dave after that. But anyway, so LucidLink. All right, if you had to say what LucidLink is, we're a storage collaboration platform. That's basically, that's it. We're storage in the end. We mount as a local drive, and we function as a local drive. That's a key thing here. And it's globally accessible. As long as you have an internet connection, you can plug in your LucidLink file space. Think of it like that. I'm going to plug in my file space, and I'll show you that piece. We're a single source of truth. We ain't doing this stuff where we're syncing data back and forth between the cloud. That was ancient times, prehistoric times, before LucidLink. With LucidLink, you just work right on the cloud storage, as a local drive. It functions the same way. So gone is that syncing silliness. Since we function as a locally shared volume, our Windows file locking, what applications, I don't care, Revit, AutoCAD, MicroStation, Bluebeam Review, etc., that Windows Global file locking that these applications have, that functionality works with us. And we're not some edge appliance technology either. So we're not doing this mesh design, trying to do this file locking like that. No, remember, we're working right on that cloud storage like a local drive, like a locally shared volume, globally accessible. And that native file locking capability that you have in all your favorite applications works on that. And it's time proven across AEC customers over a good number of years. We started in 2016, and since then we've compiled closing in on 80,000 users globally, over 3,500 going on 4,000 enterprises in 150 countries with over 50 petabytes of storage. Our largest customer has 1,000 users and is over 3 petabytes just for themselves. That's a lot of data. Security. I'll be honest with you. If I'm going to put stuff in the cloud, I'm only going to put it in there via LucidLink. Why? It's as secure as you're going to get it. Zero knowledge, client-side encryption. Everything is encrypted and decrypted on the client side. I don't give a crap about encryption at rest then on a cloud storage provider. You want to know why? Because the only way you're going to decrypt that encryption key is at the client side by entering a username password. So it's encrypted right on the client and decrypted there. That means it's encrypted in flight to and from the storage, and it's encrypted at rest on the storage. Only the customer can read the data in the storage bucket, not the cloud storage provider, because the only way you can ever see the data is by reading it through the LucidLink client. We're TPN Gold certified, SOC 2 Type 2 certified. Like I said, think of us as a drive with unlimited capacity, but from anywhere in the world you can connect to it and have it function as a local drive. You experience real-time collaboration, just like if you're all in the same office on the same shared storage. Fast access from anywhere. You ain't doing the syncing back and forth of all these files. And it's a familiar workflow because, heck, since we started using computers, we've been using local storage. Most all of us. And it's a great way to keep your data safe and secure. Some customers. We have customers in a bunch of different verticals. But let's jump down. In the AEC world, we have numerous AEC customers. So, and like I said, it's a time-proven technology. I joined a company over 5 years ago, and we were bringing on AEC companies back then. I'm going to show you some stuff, but I got to switch a screen here. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Let me navigate my mouse around in my windows. And what I'm going to do is let me share my new screen here. Give me a second. Sometimes I feel, like when you're on like a demo or like on a live webinar right now, it feels like your mouse skills are terrible. Let me see. All right. Remember I said, I don't want to say just connect to a LucidLink file space, because since we mount and function as a local drive, let's look at this as we got to plug in our LucidLink file space. So I got a Windows machine here. I want to plug in my file space. Now, I don't care if you're on Windows, Linux, or Mac. I need the LucidLink client software in order to do this. Every machine that's going to connect to a LucidLink file space needs the LucidLink client software installed on their machine. It's a pretty simple install. It's nothing that complicated. Trust me. So I'm going to connect to what I call a LucidLink file space. Here we go. Now, how do I identify a LucidLink file space? By this lingo, this naming convention. I'm connecting to cloud.workflow. Cloud is my file space name. Workflow is my domain name, my account name. Think of it. So I can have another file space in my domain. I could call it maybe projects.workflow. I could also connect to some other company's file space if they created a user for me. And maybe maybe they called theirs cloud as well, and it's cloud.company ABC. Kind of get the way the naming convention works there. Now I'm going to connect as the top administrative user to the account. Now, why am I going to do this? Because this username password, if you forget this password, this is part of our zero knowledge client-side encryption model. If you forget this password, guess what? The technical term for that is you are SOL. We can't see it. We can't reset it. If someone can reset your password, that means that they can actually have access to it. We can't reset the password for root. Creating the file space and creating this first user does what? This is actually encrypting the file space. So I'm going to enter this password here for user root. And now what I'm doing, I'm plugging in my LucidLink file space. I'm plugging it in just like a drive. You might say, where is this drive? Well, we have bundled options with IBM. We have bundled options with AWS. I'm connecting to an IBM one, and I picked my location in Frankfurt, Germany. You could connect to other like S3 compatible type storage providers, even Azure Blob Storage, Google Cloud Platform. We have a broadcast corporation in the Philippines, and they're using Alibaba's data center in Manila. So S3 compatible and Azure Blob Storage. This one right here, I'm using IBM in Frankfurt. Now, if I open File Explorer, here it is. I'm mounted as drive letter Q. If I don't like the letter Q, I could pick any other drive letter I want. I could pick a UNC path. I could mount it as a UNC path and a drive letter. I could mount it as a subfolder in another folder if I wanted to. So I could mount it a multitude of different ways. And how does this work? Pretty simple. No different than local storage. So what I could do is I could say, let's open review. I could go and say open. I'm on. If you take a look where I am, I'm in my file space here. If I scroll down to my PDF folder, open a PDF. That's how it works. Just like a local drive. Just like a local drive. Now, we're going to get more in depth with the demo here, and I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn it over to Dave. He's going to take us farther down the road and show you some even cooler capabilities with LucidLink. Take it away, Dave.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So now we're going to get to the part that we're all here for, which is the point cloud section. So just to give a little background on where I'm getting information from for our exercise here, went on to the Texas State of Texas website and their geographic site, and just found some publicly available data. Went down through. It's actually let's see. Yeah. This little area here, this Elmendorf. So we got the four big sections. So that's where I pulled the data from. And then I saved it onto my LucidLink drive here. So you can see here it's the Y drive. It's my file space. And then created a project for it and put the it downloaded some zip files, which we expanded into the folders, and we've got some LAZ files here that we're going to be working with. And then also one of the other options was actually DEM files. So I downloaded some DEM files of those same areas so we could kind of see the end result with contours. And so, yeah. So this is, this right here is actually, it's not the whole 4 sections. This is actually a small portion of the northwest section that we saw on that site there. So I'm actually just going to add no. So yeah, I'm going to show you that here first. So we imported all this data. And so the sections that we're talking about here, just so everybody knows, it was these 3 files here are the ones that we are working with. So we brought those in. And then we exported that to a RCP file. So this is the, go back up here. So this is the RCP file that we're looking at in recap. And then I exported that to an RCS for Civil 3D. Let that go. Right here. So we brought that to a RCP file for Civil 3D. And then look inside Civil 3D. This is that same point cloud file in Civil 3D. So if we want to bring that in again, I created a file that didn't have anything in it, so I could show you. That's not it. That's not it. All right, so there is nothing in this file right now. We're going to go ahead and attach that point cloud. And so the whole process of importing those 4 files into Recap, exporting them to this file, and then importing it into Civils 3D took about 20 minutes or so. And most of that was 20 or 30 minutes, and most of that time was Civil 3D doing the processing of it, or not Civil 3D, Recap processing the file. So we can see here that we brought that in. Now it's going to bring it. Let's go back to Recap, and we're just going to create a new project so you can kind of watch it happen, and hopefully it won't take too long. So I'm going to go to my data. And I went to the wrong folder, sorry. All right, so we're going to bring in, let's just bring this one file in here. You can see that it's 150 megs. I didn't do any classification because I didn't want to go through that whole process. You can see here it's attaching the file. I'm going to index that. It's almost ready. So, you know what the thing I'm going to do? I'm going to bring up why is that not coming up? So I figured while we were watching that 60% complete here, this is LucidLink command line, and so you can actually watch the progress of it streaming those files. So it is actually streaming those files here to this computer or this workstation as we speak. So it's done processing that file. Now we can launch that project. So this is that one little section. And then actually I'm going to save this quick. And then, I want to export. This is, I'm not usually, oh, come on. Okay, so that's not it's right here. Oh my gosh. Well, Rich said about the mouse is definitely true. It is. Oh. That's what I was looking for. If I can. So now we're going to export that to just a little section. And then you can see here how it's watch the little bits and bytes there that's moving up to the cloud as we speak. So it's streaming that data right to the LucidLink file space as it works. While it finishes that, just to show what we got going on here. So this is a surface I created from DEM files, and I actually reduced the quality. Let's see if I can. Do that. Still working on it. But you can see here in the file space how big the MMS files are. So I don't, just in case people aren't familiar with it, Civil 3 will break big surface files up into smaller like MMS files inside the same directory. Just to give you an idea of the size of those MMS files, they're 200 megs a piece here. And then this one is almost a gig. That is the overall surface that I created. So I brought each of those little sections in individually, and then I pasted them all into this one surface to kind of show what that would look like. So, and that, just like that, it's already done. You can kind of see what that's doing. And then if we go into Silva 3D again, no, go away. And go down to, where'd it go? Yeah, so we're in this one. So then I can, again, we will point cloud attach that guy. So we got this little RCP file that we made. I want to see the size we got here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So there's our RCP file. We're going to open that guy. We're just going to bring in the defaults. And voila, we've added that little guy right there. So that is the process. I guess I wanted to show you guys how pretty seamless it is. It didn't take very long to do any of those. Of course, we only have so much time in a webinar format like this, so I couldn't do a big one. But yeah, that is that was the whole process. I guess I was wondering if there's any questions in the chat that we can answer, or yeah, I guess I don't know.
All right. Thank you so much, David and Rich. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. I know we don't have any as of yet. So we'll wait to see if we get any of those in. Rich, do you have any final thoughts that you want to say closing out the webinar while we wait for any questions?
I mean, there's a number of things that we could do. The key takeaway is this with LucidLink. It functions as a locally mounted volume, a locally shared volume, right? Think of it as a LUN on a SAN, or you can think of it as being shared out as a NAS. No VPNs required to connect, zero knowledge client-side encryption. works with S3 compatible storage and Microsoft Azure Blob storage. We bundle solutions with IBM and with AWS. And there's a whole slew of other features. I mentioned our file locking. We also have snapshotting capability as well. Think of that as like a time machine product. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, we could do a 2-hour demo here, to get down into all the details, but I don't think we want 2 hour, I might even fall asleep on a 2 hour.